What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wolfpack Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Clemens. Here with me, as always, are my two co-hosts, Michael Plant and Ike Bonnie. What's going on, fellas?
Hey.
I'm disappointed in you. We had such a good talk about you coming in being this enthusiastic person.
Yeah, what is that?
God damn. You came in like the robot, that's going to be our butler in about 50 years. Like, what the fuck was that, man?
Obviously, the nerves got you there.
Yeah.
What, you guys are just going to come at me like that?
Oh, yes. Yes, we are. We told you right before the show we are ready. We're hostile. We want to go at it with our rankings.
And we wanted a good intro, and then here comes Dylan.
That was a good intro, man.
Sure, you didn't miss a word, but
if I had to rank it, I'd put it at a 4.
Wow.
Now ask me what it was out of.
Out of what, 5?
100.
Oh,
Ooh.
Brutal.
Oof.
But, well, since I suck so bad, let's just jump right into the breaking news that happened right before we, not right before we started, but a few hours ago. Julio Jones to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, guys. I just want to hear your guys' thoughts. Start with you, Ike, but just a lot of things. What does this do to Brady's value? What does this do to Russell Gage's value?
Leonard Fournette, new addition, Kyle Rudolph. You already said Gage.
Kyle Rudolph.
No, I'm not in love with him. Tom Brady's in love with him. He loves his tight ends.
In what way? He has never played with Kyle Rudolph before.
You know what? He never played with Cameron Brate, but he made him somewhat fantasy relevant.
I suppose.
It's true for a little bit. But what's your guys? Yeah, what's your take?
I'm assuming Julio is going to probably be the third wide receiver. Obviously, he's going to take over Russell Gage's spot, which means Russell Gage is going to drop more in the 60 to 70 range. Probably not worth a flex play or anything like that. Julio, still a risky draft pick because his hamstring, I'm assuming, is still a little dinged up. That's been bugging him for like 2 or 3 years now. We did hear that Chris Godwin is healthy. I don't know if you guys mentioned that. Well, supposedly healthy for week 1 and training camp.
I'm not buying.
Always good. I am. So just because I draft him in a lot of spots, you have to believe.
No surprise. You bought stocks on what the hell is it? I can't even remember. Go ahead.
Nice.
I was gonna say you bought stocks on fucking AMC before COVID.
AMC. What the fuck?
They crashed before COVID. It's a theater place.
Yeah. I know that. But honestly, I think if anybody, this affects Mike Evans slightly, just because they're going to be kind of doing the similar thing, which is more of the deep route. That's just what I feel like is going to happen. That obviously Tom Brady is going to get a huge boost, though, for sure.
Yeah, it definitely helps Brady. It's just the person that I think it hurts the most is Russell Gage. Like I was saying him in late rounds in best ball a ton, and that kind of just goes bye-bye until Julio tweaks a hamstring or something, But LaPlante, what are you thinking?
I mean, the biggest loser in this is definitely Russell Gage. All the Russell Gage truthers out there. I mean, I was one of them. Yeah, that's true. Very hyped on Gage this year. He's the biggest loser. I think Rudolph takes a little bit of a hit as well. Again, the news of Chris Godwin, yeah, that's great. Maybe I don't think he'll be back week 1, but I think he'll be back sooner than what we expect, if they want to. I mean, they're super deep in the wide receiver room now.
And that's why they got Julio.
Yeah, exactly. I really do think probably the biggest losers maybe would probably be Leonard Fournette and Gage, just because it might take away from that target share that he loves to throw to the running backs. That'd probably be
I think Rashad White is more scary to Leonard Fournette than Julio.
But what I want to know is, I'm sorry if I put you on the spot, Ike, here. Have you put him in a ranking spot yet, since we are talking about a rankings episode?
I have not yet. But thanks for putting me on the spot. Sweet.
I just asked.
It happened an hour or two ago?
Yeah. I know, you got to be on top of your shit, man. The reason I just asked is because the only reason I brought it up is because it's a rankings episode. All right. I'm gonna take the 1-0 lead, and I'm gonna mark him.
Bullshit.
I got
marker. There should be an asterisk next to it.
But before we move on to the best offense in the league, the Jaguars, I just want to. Did you guys see that Lenny's not Fat Lenny anymore? He's down to 245 apparently.
That's still huge.
Nah, maybe not for him. He's a bigger back, man. You'd have to see what he played at.
Probably 230.
It's still pretty big. It's still pretty big.
Yeah,
No chance you play at 245. You can miss me at that shit.
I'm not sweating it.
Oh,
But right now, I mean,
like
I
tackling
put
it.
I put Julio at wide receiver 53 and Gage at 51,
Whoa.
just to give you a little bit of an area.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
I had Gage at 35 before that.
Fair
That's
enough.
so much of a hit.
Yeah, it's brutal for Russell Gage. But just the next bit of training camp news we want to touch on. The Jaguars offense evidently looking pretty phenomenal. I know it's just training camp. They don't even have pads on, but I guess Trevor Lawrence went 17 for 17 and a ball didn't hit the ground for the first set of practices, guys. Does that help you buy in a little bit more to Trevor Lawrence, or is that just training camp buzz?
I mean, I was already buying into him a little bit, in the offseason.
Got Fishbowl 2 quarterback, right?
Yes, sir. But as I said, this is just it's just training camp news.
They're not blitzing him probably right now.
They're probably not playing, full speed. They're probably not playing all the starters as much as we think they are. It's training camp news. It's pretty much as useful as Jamar Chase dropping the ball a bunch of times last year in training camp.
True.
Yeah. And then just the other bit of big news, guys, and we're going to touch on this once we get into our rankings dispute, was Chris Carson retired from that neck injury. Unfortunately for him, he was only able to play 5 seasons, but he was pretty fantasy relevant for a couple seasons there, and he ran hard and stuff. It kind of sucks that happened.
Head first runner.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, it is upsetting that he is retiring, but I'm just grateful he's going to be healthy now. The Seahawks did him right by giving him the rest of the money on his contract that he was owed. So that's good on them.
That's really good on them, man. I'm glad that they did that too. That's great.
Yeah, they could have been a real shithead and not done that.
Yeah, totally. Totally. But yeah, guys, before we jump into our episode, I would just like to remind you to go check out fantasy6pack.net/plans and check out these memberships we have going on right now. For just $10 a month, you get access to the cheat sheet and projections, award-winning rankings, access to the Fantasy Six Pack Discord, which has weekly AMAs, direct access to our Fantasy Six Pack team. It's just an all-around great deal, guys. And if you use the promo code F6P early, the first 100 people get 25% off, and that's a fantastic deal.
Yeah, and there are people signing up now, so it's not going to be there forever, guys. So jump on it when you can.
And then a second thing, guys, is we have our first sponsor of the podcast, and that's the American Raz Facebook group. Go on over there, check it out. It's a sports memorabilia page, and they run raffles. For an example, right now, there's a Walter Payton signed painting up there. You can get a raffle spot. There's 10 spots. You can get one for $60. And you could win that, and that thing's worth like $600. I know, Michael Plant, you've won some stuff on there. Is there anything on that back wall that you've won from the page?
Yeah, I know it's a little bit hard to see because it's in the background there, but that little, not the Derrick Rose, but the framed photo of a Dennis Rodman, signed by Dennis Rodman, up there. I won an American Raz, and that's a really cool get. Obvious, because it's up there.
And then this is one of my biggest pieces of sports memorabilia, guys. That's a signed Giannis Antetokounmpo basketball. 2-time MVP, 1-time Finals MVP, and an NBA Finals champion. I won that for $25, guys. That's probably a $500 basketball. That's
a great deal. And if I didn't know any better, I'd say you were a Bucks fan.
I'm not. But I could get behind Giannis when there's a talent like that I'm able to watch. But the link is scrolling on the bottom of the screen, guys, and it's also in the description of the podcast and video on YouTube and all that.
And the cool thing is about it, guys, is they even have, kind of like off the wall sports for you as well. Like I know every now and again, if anybody's into bowling, they do bowling razzes.
Yep.
You can win a bowling ball. I mean, easily, 200, Dylan? I know these things, can run up to.
Yep.
And you can win it for $20.
There's even some like wrestling items.
NASCAR.
You'll see some soccer stuff. Yep, NASCAR stuff. It's definitely
movie
a lot
stuff.
of cool stuff.
Didn't you get your
I didn't get it from American Raz, but sometimes they do it. It's more sports oriented, but they have all the off the wall sports as well, hockey, all that. Yep.
But all right, guys, enough of that. Let's get into the episode this week. Like I kind of already said, we're gonna go through these guys' rankings a little bit. I went through to see the big differences, and there is some pretty wide margins, so it's going to be interesting. But first, as we already kind of touched on the Seahawks with the Chris Carson news, we're going to start with Ken Walker, who Ike has at running back 41. LaPlante has him at running back 45. But consensus, guys, this is where it's a little weird for me. He's all the way at RB 36. Like LaPlante, that's a 9-spot difference for you. Why do you hate Ken Walker?
First off, let me start off. Great math. I'm glad you passed high school.
Thank you.
Barely.
You're a little spicy.
That's in your project, man.
I mean, I got to give the people what they want, and if they want us to shit on each other, so be it.
What?
I do know that Dean likes it. I know he's probably watching. But the reason why I feel this way is, first, right off the bat, it's not a great offense, guys. You got Drew Lock leading the charge. There's not going to be very many scoring opportunities like there was with Russell. I know they drafted him in the second round, which is great draft capital. I can't even say that. Capital.
Yep.
Thank you.
You want to talk about graduating high school?
Aluminum.
Aluminium.
But moving forward, he's not even the number one guy. It's Rashad's Penny's backfield for now until he maybe gets hurt. But God forbid he gets hurt. It's going to be his charge. I got him statted out right now at least 228 rushing attempts if he plays all those games. Now, likelihood of him playing all those games are not good, but that takes a big chunk away from Ken Walker, man. It's unless you get an injury here, which we never can predict injuries. I can't put him much higher. How about you, Ike? How are you feeling about this? This is probably the only one where this is the only one we're going to agree on.
I think Rashad Penny, like they said earlier, is going to get 20 carries a game. Doesn't really seem like there's much room left for Ken Walker to get a whole lot unless they decide to use him in the receiving game.
But we don't know if he could catch passes because he definitely didn't do that in college.
Exactly. But if you do draft him, I would look to stash him till after their bye week, because usually after the bye week, that's when the rookie running backs start getting more and more snaps. So that's when you can maybe use him. I don't know. Also, like the plan said, depends on injury.
With these, because these are PPR rankings. I mean, I got him ranked around people like Kenyon Drake, J.D. McKissick, Michael Carter, Ronald Jones, Damian Williams, like James Cook. Like, have we seen a pattern here? These are all guys that catch passes out.
I'd take McKissick over him in a heartbeat. I would take James Cook over him.
It's not even about taking who over who. It's just he's in that range where it's kind of like he's either he has to have the volume to make him relevant, or he needs more of an uptick in passing volume, which I don't. Everything we're predicting, it's not going to be there for him in the passing.
Yeah.
So in the PPR rankings, he's a little bit lower, but in the half PPR, he's probably going to get bumped up.
There's still two other guys there, right? Travis Homer.
There's Travis Homer and DJ Dallas.
Which DJ Dallas actually gets targeted sometimes when he plays, so it's not like Walker's instantly going to go into the receiving back spot.
I can remember, a player like DJ Dallas, but I can't say capital.
The thing that just I don't want to say irks me, but you guys have a big gap between Rashad Penny and Ken Walker, which is way different than what consensus has it like a couple spots in between one another. Like I'm looking, you have Ken Walker 11 spots behind Rashad Penny, and Mike LaPlante, you have it 14 spots behind Rashad Penny. I don't know, guys.
You really want to draft him as RB?
I don't trust him as an RB2.
RB3.
I mean, maybe I can see him as an RB3.
Yeah, he'd be an RB3. No, I don't even want that because he's not even gonna. He might not even play right away.
He's basically a handcuff. And
Yeah.
he's kind of in that range of handcuffs to.
I'm gonna blame the
backs.
consensus this time, man. I think consensus loses.
I think this is the one time consensus loses.
Because that's a little crazy that he's that high, I feel like.
Yeah, he is going around guys like he's going ahead of Chase Edmonds, Cordero Patterson, Ramondre Stevenson.
Give me all of them.
Devin Singletary, Pollard, Melvin Gordon are the three.
You said Devin Singletary too?
Is right ahead of him. Is a few spots ahead of him.
Give me all of them.
I was scared for a second. I was like, what the fuck?
All right, guys. That was just kind of on a crap Ken Walker thing right there, but right.
Which is fine.
Yeah, totally.
It's not. He's not a bad player. It's just where he is right now as a rookie.
Sure. Yeah, no, I hear you. Let's jump to the next guy now. Let's go to our quarterback, Derek Carr. Ike has him at QB 13. Michael Plant has him as QB 16. He is QB 14. This one isn't much of a battle, to be honest with you. But LaPlante.
It is a little bit of a difference. He's higher on it. He's definitely thinking he's got a better chance of being a QB1 this year.
Why?
Who do you have ahead of him?
Derek Carr, Tua.
I got
Kirk
Tua
Cousins.
at 15, Kirk at 14, Stafford at 13.
I can see Kirk, I suppose.
I look at all three of those players, and as much as I love Devontae Adams, I think all three of those players have better weapons than Derek Carr. Matthew Stafford's got Kupp, Allen Robinson, Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson.
Stafford. Yeah.
All right, Kirk Cousins has Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison, Irv Smith. All right, then you go to Tui. Yes, this is a potential.
Tui, I like
Tua.
that one.
Tua.
No, it's Tui now.
No, I said Tua. You misheard me.
Tui.
You misheard me. I admitted when I fucked up capital. I'll admit when I fuck it up. Trust me. Tua is a little bit more of a potential, and I kind of put him over there just because I look at Tyreek Hill. If Duke can stay healthy, if he can get him the ball, Tyreek Hill is an easy 1,000 yards. It looks the same with Waddle. He's got Gesicki. He's got a crap ton of running backs he can toss the ball to. And they, here's a little minor, breaking news for you. They signed Mohamed Sanu. I don't know if it matters much. They got Cedric Wilson.
Boy.
I'm just saying they're deep. They got a lot of weapons. And then I look at Derek Carr, and they are kind of they're top heavy. They got Devontae,
Waller,
they got Darren Waller, and then Renfro. That's it. I mean, they don't really use Josh Jacobs in the passing game, so you're looking at Kenyon Drake.
I mean, didn't Josh Jacobs see 60 catches last year? Or 60 targets?
New coaching staff.
Hey, is it my turn yet?
Yeah, go ahead, pal.
Go ahead.
How can he get Devontae Adams and finish worse than what he finished the past 2 years? He finished quarterback 13 and 14 the past 2 years. And last year he finished 13 with 23 touchdowns. That's got to go up with Devontae Adams, who's like the king of the red zone. Right?
It was all passing yards that got him there. Absolutely.
LaPlante, did he get worse, or did everyone around him just get better?
Bingo, Dylan. Everybody else, at least I'm projecting, is going to take a bump. I mean, you got, like I said, Tua projected to take a bump. I think Kirk Cousins is just, he's not great in the big games, but overall, I think he's a better quarterback than Derek Carr.
Man, if you looked at his touchdowns though last year, Kirk threw like 33 to 35. That'd be hard to repeat, even with more passing.
I mean, when you got Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook.
Anything's possible, yeah, sure.
I think
exactly.
Derek Carr might be due for some touchdown positive regression, though, right? Didn't he throw 24, 25 touchdowns?
23
last
year.
See,
I
can see him throwing 30 touchdowns, Michael Plant.
He's done before in his career. Like
you
5
got
years
people.
ago.
You got people like Trey Lance, who I have ahead of him, who has rushing upside. Dak Prescott rushing upside. Like a lot of these quarterbacks ahead of him have rushing upside along with the passing volume and just better weapons. Derek Carr's never finished as a QB1. This could be the year.
Outside.
It's just outside every time. Kirk Cousins is finished as a QB1. Matthew Stafford's finished as a QB1.
I can see Kirk Cousins and Stafford over him.
Tua, I'm projecting again. But when you have people like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Like those guys can easily get 1,000 yards. And then if they're getting you double-digit touchdowns, possibly each, I mean, how do you not see him as in that fringe of borderline QB1?
You might have Trey Lance a lot higher than me too, by the way.
I probably do. What do you have him at? We'll
16.
give him a little freebie. I got him at 11.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say when you're talking Trey Lance over him, I was like, oh.
Let's talk Trey Lance a little bit then.
I wasn't prepared for it though.
That's fine. Let's just riff about it.
He's a rookie, man. I don't know. They don't. First off, I'm gonna steal it. This came from FS or One Sports or whatever. This dude literally talks about it. You're not
stealing it. You're crediting him.
I think it was Emmanuel Acho, whatever. He keeps saying that Trey Lance has played literally the least amount of football among all like top 5 picks or whatever among quarterbacks because of that COVID year in 2020 or whatever. So
he's played three games in 3 seasons. I feel like
that's true,
right? Yeah. So
Ike, does it change your mind a little bit now that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch came out and said that they met with Jimmy today in the building and said that and told them that they've decided to move to Trey? Does that help you put Trey Lance higher?
I was going on the assumption that Trey Lance was the guy anyway. So
sure, okay, that's fair, totally fair enough. LaPlante, what are you thinking here?
I might be a little high on Trey Lance. I won't lie, but when you have rushing upside the way Trey Lance has, it'd be different. In our league, we kind of value the pocket QBs a little bit more. But in a league where passing touchdowns are 4 points, you get 25 yards per point. You look at the rushing upside, and it's just not fair. It's 10 yards per point, 6 points per touchdown. I can easily see Trey Lance with double-digit touchdowns.
Is he a better runner than Kyler?
I don't think
Kyler hasn't reached 10, I don't think, rushing touchdowns.
Kyler's elusive. Trey Lance is Cam Newton-esque.
Bigger-ish, yeah.
And what you looked at Cam Newton and how many touchdowns was he rushing for or vulturing away from?
I mean, not even Josh Allen reached 10 rushing touchdowns.
I'm just saying it's absolutely within the realm of possibilities when you're on an offense like Shanahan's.
True. Yeah.
I mean, it is going to be tough. Not going to lie, but it's possible.
He would need it to save him.
Well, I wouldn't say save him, but we've seen this offense in the past, guys. They don't throw it very far down the field. They have Trey Lance, so they now have the ability
to be the guy that's
yes,
that's what I was gonna say.
They want to do that, but if it doesn't work, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna revert back to the same offense they were using with Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm.
And if Jimmy G can handle that, I mean, all it is sideways, 2 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Pitches to Debo out of the backfield and stuff.
All right.
Yeah, I think we can move on to our next guy. Let's go to Dalvin Cook, who Ike has at RB7. LaPlante has at RB3. LaPlante is actually closer to consensus, which has him at RB4. Ike, what the hell, man?
Explain yourself.
Well, this is PPR, so I'm definitely going to put Najee over him because Najee saw 94 targets last year. He could even see more with Mitch there. He could see more with Mitch. Is Mitch that much more of a downhill thrower than Ben? I'm not sure.
At least he can throw it downhill, though. That's the thing. They didn't even throw it deep because of Ben.
He'll miss him anyway. He'll miss the throw anyway.
Yeah.
Probably Claypool to that. But anyways, I'm going under the assumption that he's probably going to miss at least a game or two because he literally has.
Most of these running backs are not playing 16 to 17.
That's fair. But Cook is like literally, he has yet to play a full season since his rookie or sophomore year, probably. So that doesn't give me very.
I'm almost positive he hasn't played all 16 games in any season.
It is very possible.
Can you name a running back that has?
Jonathan Taylor did last year.
Yeah, he did last year. Derrick Henry in many years.
He played in all 17 games.
Yeah, you have to check tape, but I think so.
Yeah, Derrick Henry did it too for multiple seasons, man.
Joe Mixon maybe last year.
I get it, Mike. I get your point a little bit, but there is people that can do it. But I
one other thing, it's a new offense, so I don't know if they're going to be it's not going to be feed Cook 18 to 20 carries all the time.
Not as old school run heavy, you would assume, because he's coming from a Sean McVay coaching tree.
Right.
And what does Sean McVay's coaching trees love? Running backs. Remember Todd Gurley?
Yeah, no,
And look how that turned out. He got hurt within a year. I don't think they want to do that.
Hey, I'd be using Dalvin Cook into the ground. Why not? How much longer you got him for? You got Alexander Madison in the back.
Best handcuff there is in football.
That's debatable.
No, it's no debate.
Melvin Gordon.
He can't even put
not
up
a
that much.
handcuff.
Dude, Alexander Madison, when he replaces him and starts, puts up 20 points a game.
Yes.
That is literally
same shit, bro.
Yeah.
Darrell Williams. Darrell Williams.
Same man. They
come at me with
the
that.
same with the dreads.
Kareem Hunt maybe is your best shot.
You're going to tell me that Melvin Gordon isn't a fucking...
I already said no to
Melvin Gordon's not a handcuff. He's not a handcuff.
Neither is Kareem Hunt. Then neither is Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, he's not a handcuff either.
Well, then it's Alexander Madison and nobody else.
I'm looking at who doesn't have standalone.
Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard.
He's no longer like that anymore. He might even be. It might be 55-45 for them now.
And I already told you he's not a great handcuffs because Zeke doesn't miss games.
He should have. He sprained his PCL or whatever.
I'm
running the team.
How am I close? I was going to say, how am I closer to Dalvin Cook on consensus? And I feel like I'm losing.
Go ahead.
I mean, I think it's PPR, guys. That is Dalvin Cook's game. Dude, I know you're putting Najee ahead of him, but the efficiency is what killed Najee. He had the volume. Yeah,
that's totally fair.
The efficiency killed him. Dalvin Cook, even when he's injured, we saw it last year with the shoulder injury. What'd he do? He went out and dropped, I think it was 4 touchdowns.
He's good.
He's really good.
Yeah, right. But
and his efficiency, even with a crappy offensive line that the Minnesota Vikings have, and you can't argue that, he's still been efficient, even with Mike Zimmer's offense. I was just going to say, now we got somebody from Sean McVay's coaching tree.
I'm intrigued to see how it all turns out, to be honest.
It's another efficient offense. You got Justin Jefferson budding as a superstar to take away from the loaded boxes for Dalvin Cook.
He is.
Yes.
Jamar Chase is budding too.
I like to say budding because he's still young. He's just a wee lad.
Just a wee lad.
I know it's hard to believe that they're younger than us, Ike.
Yeah, the only efficiency numbers that Cook went down last year was touchdowns. Michael Plant too, which could help your argument.
Positive regression.
Maybe they'll go back up because he was scoring. I think the year before or two,
he was double
like
digit, probably
15. I think somewhere close. And last year I want to say he was like 6 or 7. So you could maybe see closer to double digits.
Absolutely. I mean, let me go give you I give you what I got him projected for my touchdowns.
Yeah. Like anything else to add, or you said your piece about this one?
Do you have Henry after him?
Run through your top 6 real quick for us, Ike.
Jonathan Taylor. This is off the top of my head because I don't want to waste time and go to my rankings, but it's Jonathan Taylor.
Waste time here. Let me advertise my rankings here. I don't want to waste time to go to them.
His rankings that you can find on fantasy6pack.net, by the way.
Yeah, very good at promoting.
And Fantasy Pros too, by the way.
And the Fantasy Pros rankings contest.
I suppose I can go to it. Let me look it up.
All right. While you do
what
that,
do you got? What do you got him set it out for?
I got him set it out at 1,481 rushing yards. 11 rushing touchdowns.
1,481 rushing yards.
Holy shit, dude.
Well, this is healthy. Woo! This is projected.
Should I say who's ahead of him now?
Go ahead, Ike.
Taylor, C-Mac, Eckler, Henry, Mixon, Harris, then Cook.
I mean, I love Henry just as much as the next guy. Trust me. But this is PPR. You know as much as we do.
Dude, he was putting up 24 a game last year before he got hurt. That
was with A.J. Brown, too.
That's fair. Yeah.
They're going to stack the boxes a little bit more this year. Yeah. Yep.
Trust me, I wasn't high on Derrick Henry like ever, but
I'll admit I'm a little high on Dalvin Cook. I completely admit that.
I mean, you're close.
But I'm a little higher than consensus technically.
Yeah, one point.
I look at this guy, and he's been in our division for how many years, guys? How many times has he killed the Bears?
Not much. He doesn't do the
he doesn't
very
kill
well.
the Bears. Yeah, he actually does.
Packers, yes,
Alright.
he does do.
He
some
kills the
damage.
Packers. I know that for a fact. He murders us every single time. Doesn't matter if he's hurt or not. He murders us. Hopefully,
Same
this
with
is the year it
Alexander
changes.
Madison.
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
It's such a lie. Look
Check
it up.
tape.
Check tape. Jinx. But I know he murders us. I know he murders Detroit. That's 4 games right there where he's an
Countless
easy.
other teams too, by the way.
Pull up
Exactly.
pull on up Dean's comment, LaPlante.
I was just about to. Derrick Henry or Dalvin Cook?
Henry.
Now this is full PPR.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go Cook. Yeah,
You're going Cook. Yeah, you have him higher.
I'm going Henry.
I'm gonna lean.
No, let me start this off. Just because I have players ranked where I do, this is because this is their ceiling. All right. I project them to go where they are if they play the full season. Obviously, injuries, everything plays an effect to this, but this is like best case scenario for these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Best case scenario, if you give Dalvin Cook a full season in this offense with Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and this new offensive scheme, I think he scores more than Derrick Henry, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But is that about it?
I lean Derrick Henry
That's fair.
To split the difference.
And I'm keeping Derrick Henry in a league we have. But granted, I have a choice between him and Swift.
This next one, guys, I'm excited about this one. Just go ahead and do another running back and finish up the running backs that we got. Saquon Barkley. Ike, you have him at RB11, LaPlante RB7. He is RB11 in consensus. LaPlante, holy cow. I personally know how you feel about him. I took him as my RB2 at Scott Fishbowl because of his upside. Love his upside. I know you love his upside. Is that why you have him projected as your RB7?
Again, this is projected health as well. Because now we're getting all these reports. He's fully recovered from the ACL. I've seen the pictures of him. He looks like he can beat the shit out of me.
He always
I know
shit out of your ass.
It's not much of a compliment, but either way, he looks jacked out of his mind. I'd hate to be the guy tackling him. If he's good, he's got an offensive scheme change. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong. I want to say he's going into a contract year. So, this is his best time to bounce back to that number 1 RB1 status that he did his rookie year, when it was just as shitty as an offense.
The offensive line's a little better.
Yep. The weapons are a little better. It's not great, but they're better.
Yeah. Brian Dabble. I don't know if you mentioned him.
I did. No, I didn't mention him specifically, but I mentioned the new offensive scheme.
Ike, what are you thinking?
For being a first, what would he be? He would be a first round, right? Or maybe second round?
What up, pal?
Round?
Yeah.
If it's only second round, that's still a little risky because he is literally the definition of make or break your season.
This is why. Sorry, I go.
So
ahead.
is C-Mac.
Yeah, those two. He could very well finish higher than running back 7, or he can get hurt and completely ruin you. But Brian Dabble is the new coach. I'm assuming he's going to be calling plays. When he was with Buffalo, he did not like going to the running back. That could be Josh Allen's preference, but they did not target the running back very much. It was like 15%, which was definitely in the lower half of the league.
I'm not going to argue with that, but they never had a Barkley. Go ahead.
That's true. They never had a Barkley or even anything close to Barkley, but
nope.
I don't know. There's not many weapons there either, so he could get a lot of the receiving work. It's just I don't want to take a guy that early and have him just completely ruin my season.
That's kind of where I'm leaning to. Like, I love Saquon if you can get him as your running back too, because of that ceiling that he possesses. But unfortunately, Mike, where you have him ranked, and like you said, I know it's based on projections and full health. You have him at 7. I can't come to drafting him that early. I drafted him at RB10 in Scott Fishbowl, like I said, but 7's a little bit of a stretch. But 11 is consensus, and that's still an RB1. I don't love that either, but if there's a runner receivers in your draft and you can get Saquon as your RB2, like I just said, I absolutely love it.
Right.
So running back 9.
You probably have him over Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones. Who can get targets, by the way.
He actually has him over. You have him ahead of Aaron Jones, LaPlante, which I took Saquon over Aaron Jones and Scott Fish. You actually have him over Joe Mixon and DeAndre Swift. I would have DeAndre Swift and Mixon ahead of Saquon Barkley.
Mixon's the one I can argue with.
And that's how I'm gonna draft. Is I'm gonna draft Joe Mixon and DeAndre Swift over Saquon.
Mixon, I can make the argument for. The offensive line got better. All right, but again, he doesn't get the third down work. Barkley does.
All
right,
we know. Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose.
We know he's getting. I mean, I would think he gets the third down work. I mean, what are they going to throw in there? I can't even remember his goddamn name, but the rookie. Otherwise, it's Matt Breida.
Yeah,
Let's not forget that Barkley.
Well, they got a rookie behind Breida. I just can't remember his name. I'd have to look up the projections.
Just let me ask you this: would you rather have Saquon or Leonard Fournette?
Saquon.
LaPlante, you as well?
Saquon, yeah.
Okay.
Like the reason I got Saquon where he is, as I look at it, is typically there's a safe 6 when it comes to running backs. You got Taylor. I mean, I wouldn't call him safe, but like safe fantasy studs. Jonathan Taylor, McCaffrey, Cook, Eckler, Henry, and Najee Harris. All right. Barkley was in this category.
There, to be honest.
I mean, I know he finished great last year, guys. I know he did. But there were so many injuries last year. So many to the running back. Like, you got to put in Derrick Henry. If McCaffrey puts in there, that's another 2 spots he's moving down just right there. I mean, he finishes RB3.
He'd only be down to 5 now, but
I know, but there's still more running backs I'm not remembering. But there was a lot of injuries to running backs. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you want to project all these guys to be good, like I know Ike is high on DeAndre Swift.
8, running back 8.
I know. And I got Barkley at 7. I'm taking Barkley over Swift. I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Dude, you're telling me about health when Swift hasn't even played a full season.
It's fair.
I get it.
And he shares the backfield with Jamal Williams.
I get it. Both offenses are pretty bad, but they're both trending upwards.
Yes.
Fair.
Jared Goff has done more than Daniel Jones so far in his career.
The one thing I give in DeAndre Swift's favor is the offense line is much better for Detroit.
And but Daniel Jones,
they don't use them between the tackles.
Who's that? I'm sorry.
They don't use Swift between the tackles, so it doesn't like that. That doesn't affect him very much.
I think the Giants used Saquon in between the tackles too much when Jason Garrett and stuff was his coach.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
they should have been using him outside the numbers.
Get him the ball in space. That's where he works.
But why would you do that? Because all he does is dance around, try and make the big play.
But he can make the big play.
He might dance around and get
more out there.
He might get dance around 5 or 6 times and get caught up out there. But one time he breaks it for 80 yards and a touchdown. Change the game.
Which has happened to me before.
I know that we are not old enough to have watched Barry Sanders, but that is exactly what Barry Sanders did on a shitty defensive Detroit Lions team. He literally danced around in the backfield because he had no help.
Better than Saquon.
You're not listening to the comparison here. They're both on a shitty team. And actually, if I'm being honest with you, Saquon's probably the closest comparison you're going to get to Barry Sanders with the physicality and the burst of speed and the elusiveness. All right, Barry Sanders, he probably I'd have to look up his career stats for him. I don't think he averaged that great of yards per carry. But what he fucking did was that one play or that 2 plays, he took it 80 yards to the house.
I think the one guy that was most like Barry Sanders was probably Reggie Bush. At least coming out of college, people.
Barry Sanders was physical. Reggie Bush wasn't physical.
Though. Yeah.
Barry Sanders was still physical, even though he was small.
Reggie Bush was the best college player I think I've ever seen in my freaking lifetime, though. I'm just gonna say
I will give you that, but there's a reason why it was Reggie Bush and who was the guy in the backfield?
Lindell White.
It was Thunder and Lightning.
Yeah.
Thunder was Lindell. Lightning was Reggie Bush.
Are you sure
He
it
was
wasn't
fast,
Deuce
not powerful.
McAllister?
We're talking about Reggie Bush.
Are you
right
sure it
now,
wasn't
but-
Deuce McAllister?
Well,
But either way,
he was talking
Barkley's
about college.
that combination of both.
Oh.
Yep.
Barkley's that combination, and that was the same with Barry Sanders. He would probably got like 10 rushes for like 30 yards, and then boom, busted a 70-yarder. But go on.
Yeah, the train let off the tracks a little bit there, so I'm gonna steer
Dylan,
it.
that's your fault, Dylan.
I'm gonna steer it back on the tracks, Michael Plant, and I'm gonna switch us over to wide receivers.
One thing. How do you steer a train when it's on the tracks?
Yes, Mike
Make
Williams.
sure
Mike,
there's no bumps or anything. And just guide it.
Good. All right, I think this is the perfect time for this banner.
Big Mike
Hashtag
Williams.
analysis.
Mike Williams, guys. Ike has him as wide receiver 14. LaPlante has him as wide receiver 9.
Come at me.
Woof. Consensus has him.
Yeah, what
as
up with
wide
that?
Consensus has him at wide receiver 20. So you guys are both dumb high on Mike Williams. Well, LaPlante, let's just go ahead and start with you. You crazy asshole having Mike Williams as your
Is he
wide
higher than
receiver
Keenan
9.
Allen?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
only by
Holy-
a spot. Only by a spot.
PPR, holy shit.
Only by a spot. The problem that I have is you have him higher than Tyreek Hill,
T. Higgins.
T. Higgins, Michael Pittman Jr.
Holy shit. DJ Moore, my guy, man. Why did you do him like that?
Oh, he's got him higher than DJ Moore by like
Yeah, that's just
16,
blasphemy.
16 spots. But we'll get into that later. LaPlante, just defend yourself, man. I know we've talked about Mike Williams a tremendous amount on this podcast in recent weeks.
I mean,
But just go ahead and do it again, I guess.
I'm not even going to get a chance. Ike just wants to rip in. Go ahead, Ike.
no, you can go.
I was going to say, go ahead.
Well, I mean, there's not much you can say. The dude in the second half of the season after bye week busted so many times, it's not even funny. He was under 10 points 50% of the time.
I'm going to quote Dylan on this one. We're chasing this year's production, not last year's.
But you have to go off last year to go in. What the fuck? You have to go off last year to project into this year at least a little bit.
That's true. All right. But we're going into the second tier of the same offense. Second tier.
He did get his big contract.
Justin Herbert throwing him the ball. I hate to break it to you, and as much as you love Keenan Allen, he's another year older, guys, which means he's probably a little bit slower, which means he's probably going to get less receptions, which means he's probably going to get less separation.
But he can't even separate now, and he's still getting catches.
157 targets.
Where is he just going down to 120?
129 for Mike Williams, which was 14th in the league.
Shit.
Yeah, shit. He got a lot of targets. Now imagine if he gets an uptick in targets.
Ah, man, that's gonna be
How
tough
much
for
more
him.
can he see, though, Mike, with
Right.
Joshua
Justin
Palmer?
And
Herbert.
Hold on.
First off, Eckler's there too.
Yeah, we're
Congratulations.
in the heart of training camp buzz, and Josh Palmer sure is getting a lot of it too. Here comes Josh Palmer zooming into that offense to steal targets from Mike
Shit.
Williams.
He's definitely taking a few, my man.
My gosh. Look at this. Justin Herbert finished as QB2 last year. He threw 38 fucking touchdowns, guys. 38. All right. If he's going to throw that many again, I'm sorry. Keenan Allen is not going to be high on that list. Do you think Gerald Everett is going to get double digits?
He actually might be a sleeper for a tight end, by the way.
He might be a sleeper. All right. I'll give you that. But what is more likely?
75
Mike Williams, double
targets or
digits,
so.
or Gerald Everett?
Double digit what? Touchdowns?
Touchdowns, yes.
Mike Williams, for sure.
Exactly. All right. It is all touchdown upside in what we predict to be a high-flying offense in a fucking firework division where there's going to be scoring
That's going
all
to
the
be a fun
time.
division.
Totally.
All right. The over-unders for these games and these divisions are going to be so fucking stupidly high that they're going to be so much fantasy production. I can see Herbert throwing for 40 touchdowns this year, guys. He's got to throw them to somebody. And if you're going to talk to me about Eckler having touchdown regression, it's not going to be him.
I hear.
So I love Mike Williams' upside. And again, this is an upside play. That's why I went with it.
Yeah, I just I can't do it at wide receiver 9, man. That's wide receiver 1 territory.
I mean,
and
here's the thing.
I ain't having that.
Herbert managed to make these guys both wide receiver ones last year. We've seen it before. All right?
He's going to do it again.
Everyone's projecting T. Higgins to do it with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. All right. On average, I can't remember exactly where I got I believe it was actually Danny Heifetz on the Ringer podcast, but he says on average, there's only one pair of teammates that both finish as wide receiver ones throughout the year. So the likelihood of both of these guys succeeding, it's hard, and one's done it before. That's what I'm leaning with here. That's why I got Mike Williams over T. Higgins.
Fair.
Sure. Ike, anything to add?
No, I said my piece saying he's really boom or bust.
Yeah, I feel you there. That's why I don't love him as my wide receiver one, but we can go ahead and move on now to the next guy, Jerry Jeudy. Wait a minute, this can't be right. Let's skip over Jerry Jeudy right now. I think we gotta,
what did you do wrong?
Let's go to
Plant has him at wide receiver 20, not 25.
LaPlante has him as wide receiver 20. Ike has him at wide receiver 25. The consensus has Jerry Jeudy at wide receiver 24. Ike, why you hate Jerry Jeudy?
One spot after, I don't hate him.
Why are you shitting on him, man?
No, you're five spots lower than LaPlante.
He's got a lot of competition for targets this year.
By who?
What do you mean by
Tim Patrick?
Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, Devontae
I'll
Williams,
give it.
Alvin Gordon,
Oh man,
fucking Albert O, KJ Hamler's not going away.
First round pick Jerry Jeudy's got to fight for targets for.
He can't even catch the ball.
Man. I'd be worried that I busted my pick.
He can't even catch the ball. He was like top 5 2 years ago and top 20 last year. If Russell Wilson throws to him and keeps dropping the ball, don't you think he's gonna be like, all right, you can probably get this dude out of here?
Colton, I 100% agree with you that the Seahawks.
I think we all do.
Jimmy G, man, that would help a tremendous amount in fantasy purposes for sure. It'd help DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, the running game. He's just gonna have to get cut from the 49ers because I don't see them trading within the division.
It's not gonna happen. Didn't mean to cut you off there, Ike. But
I totally forgot what I was saying though.
No surprise there.
Colton also agrees with Ike that Jerry Jeudy's a bust.
Hell yeah.
That was your guy, Ike. You never stick to your fucking gut, man. You are so shady.
He wasn't my guy like 2 years ago because I thought he was good out of college.
He's only been in the year two league.
He still is good. He still is good though. Like, don't do him dirty like that. He's still an elite route runner.
He's okay. I give you that.
Yeah.
He created
separation. Can he catch it?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, if he can catch balls from Tua in college, I think he can catch it from Russell Wilson.
Oh, drive-by shoesting on Tua right there. It's a little messed up, man.
Yep, that's your boy.
Why do you like him so much?
Jerry Jeudy?
Yeah.
I just project the offense to be good. I project that division to be, like I said, high scoring. I honestly think the games are probably going to average around 30 points in that division. As stupid as it sounds, I know it's going to come down to pass rush. The defenses can be as good as they want, but it's QBs that control this division, and it's going to be high scoring. That's why
you have him ahead of guys like Rashad Bateman, Brandon Cooks, DJ Moore, which is a little blasphemy. I just noticed this too in your rankings, LaPlante, and I probably should have brought this up. You have Jalen Waddle at wide receiver 26.
Yes, I do.
I know this is off the beaten path here, but explain yourself to me a little bit on Jalen Waddle being a wide receiver 26 after he saw all that volume last year. Sorry to put you on the spot, but you better figure it out.
I shouldn't have to explain myself.
No, you should. You should.
All that volume is just going to dissipate with Tyreek Hill.
Not all the volume, you crazy butthole.
Are you serious? You don't think
if
that
anything,
the majority of those targets are going to go to Tyreek Hill?
But they'll just pass more. Well, they're supposed to be.
I have them projected at 596 passing attempts.
What do you have Jalen Waddle projected out for target-wise?
20% target share.
How many targets total?
119 targets.
That's actually not bad.
It's his catch percentage. That's the problem, boys.
But he saw like 150 last year. I get Tyreek Hill came too. I get that he's there now, man. But
I do have Jalen Waddle. The reason why is I have Jalen Waddle statted out a little bit down on the yards per reception. But, I mean, I think Tyreek Hill's the deep guy now. That's what they used Jalen Waddle as last year, the deep guy.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be more the slant underneath route. I mean,
well, Waddle's kind of a guy you could get the ball to behind the line of scrimmage. And
exactly.
Go. I hear
you. I love that.
Let's go ahead and move on to the next guy then. DJ Moore, I'm excited for this one. I can't wait to see Ike go bananas. Ike has him at wide receiver 13, LaPlante at wide receiver 23, consensus wide receiver 15. Ike?
I want LaPlante just to say why he thinks he's so low on him first.
I should. This is also, I have not updated it since the Baker trade. So that
but you updated fucking the Russell Gage news right away, but you didn't update the Baker.
I told him to do that
there
too. To the Buccaneers.
I do need to make some final adjustments. I won't lie. But again, DJ Moore, his ceiling is capped, guys. 4 receiving touchdowns. That's it. I'm projecting ceilings here for healthy guys. The year that DJ Moore played when C-Mac was healthy, I believe was 2018.
19, I believe.
Are you sure about that, buddy?
C-Mac's been hurt 2020 and 2021.
All right. So he got 135 targets in 2019. I was going to say before that, he only got 82. Like, yes, the volume has been there, but they've been shitty-ass targets. We've had this discussion with Allen Robinson in the past years when you had fucking Mitch Trubisky, Nick Foles throwing in the ball. They're not good targets.
But they're going to get better with Baker.
Is it?
Yes, at least better than Sam Darnold.
It is better than Sam Darnold.
I'll give you that.
At least a 3 to 4% more than Sam Darnold.
I will give you that. But there was a reason Baker Mayfield was traded for a 6th-round draft pick.
Because they don't like his attitude?
No,
if you tell me he can't play quarterback, okay, but if you tell me he can't play quarterback, then you're completely wrong.
They don't like his leadership.
That has nothing to do with him being able to play quarterback, though.
Absolutely.
At least providing fantasy value to wide receivers, no.
That's true.
Winning games, sure.
Well, that's the thing. If you're winning games, you're scoring fantasy points. If you're not winning games, you're not scoring fantasy points.
But if you're losing games, you're getting garbage time points.
Exactly. So I mean, it's
and where does the garbage time go to, guys?
DJ Moore,
McCaffrey. No, come on.
if he's on the field, man. For sure.
It's C-Mac.
He still had a 25% target share with C-Mac in the lineup in 2019.
If
that's
Carolina's
25% still good.
If Carolina's being smart, if they're getting beat and blown out,
you can't go by that because that was before Robbie Anderson was also there and Terrence Marshall.
And it was also a Teddy Bridgewater.
Exactly. Sorry, Dylan.
No, I lost my train of thought now. But yeah, man, it's.
I mean, I'll probably move him up to more like probably around 20.
How many yards do you have him having?
Carolina. He's definitely the number 1, no doubt about it. I got him set at 1,033.
No. Sorry. He's had 3 straight seasons of 1,100, and he gets a better quarterback finally. How does he go down?
Because he doesn't catch the ball. Even that's the whole thing. He's got to catch the ball, and in his past, he has not.
But he caught the ball in the past 3 years enough to get 1,100 every single year.
Because he's a big play guy. He's not a volume guy. He's a big play guy.
I mean, he caught 90 balls last year.
And
that's without C-Mac, sure, but
LaPlante, he needs to be higher than Brandon Cooks, Rashad Bateman, and Jerry Jeudy, in my opinion.
He needs to be a mid-wide receiver, too, at least. 15, 16, 17. Fuck it. If you put him at 17, we still have issues.
The reason why I have him so low is because of C-Mac. This offense runs through C-Mac when he's healthy. It doesn't run through DJ Moore.
But the wide receivers will still get targets. I think it'll hit Robbie Anderson more than DJ Moore.
Robbie Anderson got 100 plus targets.
And that will go down. Why does DJ Moore get suffered?
Okay, Nostradamus.
Just DJ Moore has proven that he's a good.
I've already admitted I'm a little bit lower on him than it is, but he ain't going up to 13. I can tell you right off the bat. No chance.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Let's
just wait and see, man. Touchdowns eventually gonna go up.
Man, I don't know. The past 3 years, 4.
Darnold and Teddy, fucking Cam Newton. Who else was there? Cam Newton, who couldn't even throw the ball. He was throwing it.
This is true.
Baker can at least score touchdowns.
Yes.
God, you just are hating on Baker too much.
I mean,
and DJ Moore, I don't like it.
So's the NFL.
Yeah, the DJ Moore hates a little much, LaPlante. I don't care for it too much.
It's totally on brand. You saw it all last year. It's gonna happen again.
I know, and it bothered me every single Sunday when you're telling everybody.
And was I wrong?
The sun. Yeah, you were.
No, I wasn't. Oh my God, you're such a hater.
16, man. You still gotta play him.
Moving on to the next.
Yeah,
guy.
Absolutely, but I'm not playing him over somebody like I don't know, AJ Brown.
Fair. Whoa. I would not. I would take DJ over.
Last year.
All right, Dylan, you can move on.
Moving on to the next guy, Christian Kirk. Ike, you have him at wide receiver 39. That's ridiculous. Sorry. Ike has it, or LaPlante has him at wide receiver 28. He is wide receiver 39 in consensus, which is also ridiculous. Consensus, you're wrong. You're all wrong. LaPlante is right in this one.
Why?
Why are you with consensus?
No, why?
I'm flipping the fuck out of that.
High, though, because why do we think Trevor Lawrence is all of a sudden going to take a humongous step?
Because he just went 17 for 17. Because he just went 17 for 17 in training camp day 1. Duh.
He had that locked and loaded.
He's got to throw 560 passes and complete fucking 500 of them.
They gave him a stupid contract. Like they're going to use him in the offense. I promise.
That's fair.
I promise you. They're going to be getting their ass kicked in most games because they're not good. So garbage time galore. They don't have a whole lot else around. I mean, they got Marvin Jones, whatever.
Evan Ingram,
whatever. Put some respect on Evan Ingram's name.
I saw a video of him yesterday on a little 5-yard in route dropping a pass. Shocker. I absolutely loved it.
So how is he dropping a pass, but Trevor Lawrence is going 17 for 17?
That was yesterday.
Okay.
He dropped the pass. Today he is 17 for 17. You know, Trevor Lawrence.
He just didn't throw it to Evan Ingram.
He's the Messiah again. Like, yeah, he must not have targeted Ingram.
He is not the Messiah again. No.
Oh.
I don't know. He's got hair like you. Actually longer now.
Yeah, his hair's long.
But yeah, no, I love Christian Kirk this year. He's definitely a sleeper. He's potentially the number 1 target in this offense. I love Marvin Jones too for the value he's going, but I can't see Marvin Jones completing a full season just at his age. So that leaves even more target volume for Christian Kirk. This defense is god awful. They're in a terrible division. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot. There's just so much volume there. Man. He has been getting some good chatter out of camps. I'm not going to lie. I've been seeing.
Don't fall into that hype again. I've been there.
That was also Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer probably didn't even know who he was.
That's fair.
I can tell you Doug Peterson knows who he is. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, the volume is just going to put him way over the top of even my rankings probably.
If you're worried about DJ Moore target quality, I would worry about Christian Kirk's target quality.
How? He doesn't have to worry about a Christian McCaffrey taken away from him.
He has to worry about Travis Etienne, the next Christian McCaffrey.
Etienne is going to take away from him a bit.
He's not getting 100 targets like
Etienne. No, I'm just kidding.
No, he'd probably see 70. Etienne might be. No, that's probably not the second option.
I've been also hearing good things about James Robinson. He did not start on the PUP list. That's great news. Yeah, so that's going to eat into Etienne's value a little bit right there.
The problem with James Robinson.
Stop shaking your head.
No, the problem with James Robinson, why he was good in fantasy relevant, was because he was being used in the passing game.
No, it was volume.
In the passing game as well, man, getting dinks and dinking.
He also got 200 plus rushing attempts.
I agree. It's brutal.
250 plus.
I don't see. He's an undrafted free agent. Doesn't mean shit to this coaching
Tell
staff.
that to Arian Foster.
Doesn't mean shit to this coaching staff. Doesn't mean shit to this new GM. Doesn't mean shit to any of those people, man. I ain't buying any James Robinson.
I mean, technically, this coaching staff
I know
didn't even draft Travis Etienne.
But they could tell that Travis Etienne is as talented.
So if you're going to use that argument.
And he's Trevor Lawrence's boy. So boom. He's the Messiah's boy.
Yeah, Devontae Adams was fucking Aaron's boy. How'd that turn out?
He's always been Derek Carr's boy since college. Boom.
Boom.
Encourage
You're
me.
An idiot.
Boom.
Boom. Encourage.
Well, let's finish off with our last guy here. Let's go with Allen Robinson. Ike is closer to consensus. He's got him at wide receiver 25. LaPlante has him at wide receiver 29. Just hating on him like always. And then consensus has him at wide receiver 25. LaPlante, why the hate towards Allen Robinson?
It's not so much more hate. It's just respect to Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp just demands a very, very high amount of volume. Like I said, Christian Kirk is going to get the volume.
I was going to say, you have Christian Kirk higher than him.
He's going to get the volume. I don't know.
I might want to rip your head off.
It is what it is, man. But Michael Thomas, I hate to break it to you, is better than both those receivers when healthy. Come at me.
Rip his head off, Ike.
The dude can only ran a slant.
All right, Ike. If that's all you think he can do, you're no worse than the trolls on Twitter.
I will check his route tree from this one thing on Twitter that I see. I have to
reception, perception, Matt Harmon.
It could be that. I will check his route tree to see exactly what he is really good at. I'm going to probably see a lot of this.
All right, so let me get this straight. So something that somebody's good at, we're not going to use that in our offense. All right, great strategy, Ike.
Are we talking about? Who are we even talking about right now? Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas.
Why?
You said all he's good at is a slant.
I know.
All right, so he's going to have a lot of slants.
Target though.
If you're good at something,
I steered the train off the track.
Yeah.
Bring it up, Michael Thomas. Go ahead, LaPlante. Allen Robinson. Go back to it.
All right, fine. I'll make you happy. I'll move up fucking Allen Robinson over DJ Moore. Would that make you happy?
What?
It's a joke. It's a joke. Calm down. I should probably move him up a little bit here, but it's not going to be many spots. It's not going to be very many spots.
Robert Woods was producing at least wide receiver 2 numbers.
And Allen Robinson
with Cooper Kupp there.
Yeah, Allen Robinson is still super talented, man. He gave up on the Bears last year because Matt Nagy's an idiot.
He straight up gave up.
Yeah, he did. It's just outside of Cooper Kupp, it was hard to find consistent fantasy value. It was just
Robert
not
Woods
consistent.
was fine until he got hurt.
LaPlante, do you think Allen Robinson's a better wide receiver than Robert Woods?
Like those. Say that one more time. Robert Woods better than Allen Robinson?
Do you think Allen Robinson is a better wide receiver than Robert Woods? A better catcher of the football? Because maybe Robert Woods is a better blocker a little bit. You can maybe lean there, but better catcher of the football.
I would say Allen Robinson's better, but it's not by much.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
But I guess in that range of that wide receiver 29 range, I'm just looking for more upside. Like he just doesn't offer much upside, I think, in this offense as, a wide receiver 2, more of like a wide receiver 3, because he's at least I got him statted out around like Christian Kirk. With the volume he gets, Dylan, I know you agree he could finish as a wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
I got Amon-Ra St. Brown actually a slot down than Allen Robinson, and we saw last year with the volume he gets. He can obviously finish as a wide receiver 2. Chris Godwin around that range. Again, Michael Thomas, Jalen Waddle. Like all these guys just in my opinion, offer a higher upside.
Yeah.
Just blowing my mind with some of these players. Like
he's got Juju ahead of him as well. Like
higher upside with Patrick Mahomes.
The problem is
potential number
Allen
1
Robinson
target in that offense.
But at some point, Mike, talent outwins it at some point. And Allen Robinson is
but fantasy football is
Juju
talent and opportunity mixed together.
Yeah, for sure.
And what did Allen Robinson not have last year?
Opportunity.
He did not have
because
opportunity
he's
last year.
scripted out of the offense because Matt Nagy and
Or
him
a
are
will
really
to
good
play.
friends. Yeah,
How do you know it won't happen again?
because he's
For the Rams?
Super Bowl champion.
I'm talking shit, but I'm just because we can't
most player coach
we are
of all time.
as much as we'd like to sit up here and act like we know everything, guys. We don't.
I do.
No.
I do know that he can produce just like Robert Woods,
right.
which is a wide receiver.
Release
too.
the air nozzle in the back of your head to let that fucking ego out because whew.
I lean with Ike here. Robert Woods was a wide receiver too. Allen Robinson is good. I don't see a scenario in which Allen Robinson doesn't finish as a top 22 wide receiver.
All right, so here's what I got my guys statted out at. And you said top what wide receiver?
22. I just threw out a number, man.
22. I'll even just go 24 because that would be technically wide receiver.
Yeah.
Right now, I got at wide receiver 24 is DK Metcalf. Can you put Allen Robinson over DK Metcalf?
I think so because Drew Lock
PPR, sure.
Football, yeah.
I wouldn't feel great about it, but I could, yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
Exactly my point. Like this, it's hard, man. I'm looking for upside here in my rankings because, I mean, it's hard to predict injuries, man. I mean, Allen Robinson, he doesn't even play full seasons anymore. Granted, that could have been part of last year's scripting out of the game process. But I don't know. I lack upside when you're not the number one option on that offense. I mean, he's going to have, good fantasy value, but not to where I'm going in the I'd rather not have him as my wide receiver 2. I'd rather have him as a wide receiver 3.
Sure. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I think that pretty much settles it, guys. Good show. You got anything else to add before we get out of here?
I'm going to be making some adjustments here because obviously you guys hate me.
Yeah, it was. You had some goofy stuff, but I think Ike did too. All in all, it was pretty good. It was good to talk it out, though. And I think, like you just said, I think that should help you guys in your rankings that maybe now after we just went through all that, you guys should go back and adjust it.
I don't know. I kind of want to just going to keep DJ Moore there just to spite you fucks.
Whatever, man. Guys, you can follow all our work over at fantasy6pack.net. Please go over to the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube channel and please like and subscribe. Like and subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can follow me at dclemens2222. You can follow Ike at Ike2121. You can follow Michael Plant at @be_Mike with 2 eyes. We will be back next week. Not quite sure what we're doing yet, but yeah, we'll talk to you guys next week.
We'll figure it out as we go.
Yes. See you guys.